Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today I'm going over a Stasis Revenant build. That's the hunter build that I've put together utilizing the Renewal Grasps. Now, I covered this exotic in the past in terms of the in-depth specifics of how it works, so if you want to see that video, you can go check it out. But basically, the point of this build is to spam Duskfields to either get slows on enemies or DR on yourself, or ideally both for comical levels of damage resistance. Do that as frequently as possible and reap benefits from having other synergistic perks from our fragments and our weapons. In terms of the fragments that we're using, we're going to be using Whisper of Chains, Whisper of Durance, Whisper of Rime, Whisper of Torment, and Whisper of Shards. Our aspects are Touch of Winter and Grim Harvest. Now, this might be a little weird at first, but I'll explain the synergy here. I'm honestly surprised that a lot of people aren't using these gauntlets. I think right now the meta pick for Hunter is Invis, and everyone's still on the Void 3.0 hype train. But I think that these gauntlets are very underrated and incredibly powerful. Like, I was shocked to see how these gauntlets worked. And the only thing that was holding them back was a bug where how it applied DR was very inconsistent. But now I think that's since been fixed. And yeah, these exotics are, they're something. Again, comical levels of DR, and they have a really good matchup against a lot of the Void 3.0 things like the Overshields, Invis, etc. So I think these exotics, I'm really surprised that they're not being used, but I think they will get a lot more popular very quickly. So in terms of the synergy between the whole build, I'm using a Shayura's Wrath with moving target and elemental capacitor. Elemental capacitor has a good interaction with Stasis where it gives you faster strafe speed. Think kind of like Peacekeepers except for a hunter, especially when combined with moving target. So that strafe speed was really great for playing a cover or being just overall evasive. And then I'm also using the new Stasis Fusion Deliverance, and this has Chill Clip on it. The Chill Clip perk, basically, you need 3 bullets in the mag. Obviously, in PvP, you only start with 2. So this makes it kind of like a kill perk in a way, but not quite. I was thinking to myself with this build, do I want to use a headstone weapon? But I thought to myself, in order to properly utilize headstone, I have to get a kill, and a precision kill nonetheless. When I looked at Chill Clip, I saw that this only requires you to have 3 bullets in the magazine, which means, of course, you can get a kill with your fusion, or someone else can get a kill, and then you'll have it. It still requires a kill, but the difference between this and a different kill perk is that you can have a teammate die, pick up their ammo, and then you get it. So it's something that can bring you back into a game and get a benefit to get your team back into the game and potentially win without having to get a kill. So I think there's a lot of value in that, and that's why it's not exactly a kill perk, because of that ability that it has to help you bounce back into a game. And essentially, when you get this active, your fusion shots, whether you kill them or not, are slowing them. So that means that if you don't get the one-shot kill, you're still applying a slow. And you can guess that yes, that has synergy with Whisper of Durance. It's going to make the slow last longer. On top of that, you might be wondering, why am I using Grim Harvest? Well, the reason being is because if you have a slowing fusion rifle, yes, it does count as you getting a kill on a slowed or stasis affected target, even though you've only just shot them, which means you're essentially getting a free massive stasis shard every single kill. And what best takes advantage of that? Sure, the melee cooldown's cool, but Whisper of Rime. So essentially, every kill you're getting your melee cooldown back, and you're getting a big chunk of health back when you grab those stasis shards, or just a pretty good overshield. And that good overshield on top of your already comical levels of damage resistance coming from your Renewal Grasps DR, which is stacking, by the way, with your Whisper of Chains DR. Yeah, you get really tanky, and we pair that with the fact that fusions are very strong in this meta, and your fusions at its peak slowing people. Yep, yeah, that's something. I'd say that's pretty strong. So in terms of our weapons, we're getting a neutral benefit for our Shayura's Wrath, which is our strafe speed. So that's why we don't really have to feel so bad about getting a kill perk or pseudo kill perk bonus with chill clip, because we're squeezing both a neutral benefit and a kill benefit synergy out of our subclass, which is again elemental capacitor for neutral and chill clip for our kill perk. I say that in quotations because it's not exactly a kill perk, but again, two different forms of benefits just for playing Stasis. And we haven't really talked about what Renewal Grasps is getting us and what kind of synergies we have with the fragments that we're using. Renewal Grasps obviously give us that comical levels of DR that I talked about with chains, but it's got some other synergies as well. It does actually affect Durance, or have an effect with Durance, where Durance extends the duration of our Duskfield grenades. So that means the longer we have the Duskfields up, the longer we're slowing a target, the longer we're going to have our DR, the longer the function of our Renewal Grasps is actually doing something. And then we're going to pair that with a bunch of different ways to make sure that we're getting our grenade up as soon as possible, nearly at every moment that we want it. So we have double grenade kickstart on our gauntlets, the Whisper of Shards, which when we blow up the crystal that spawns, which is a big crystal by the way, for cover on top of all that, we're getting cover with our DR, a pillar of cover there. But we can break that and then get a faster cooldown, and then also Whisper of Torments is going to make it so when we take damage naturally from playing, we're also going to get our grenade back. So in the best case scenario, not counting Whisper of Torments, just between Whisper of Shards and our double grenade kickstart, we're getting our Duskfield grenade every 18 seconds. Expect less if you're in a fight though with Whisper of Torment. That'll get you there even faster. My other mods were pretty average, I want to say. I'm only using one targeting just to have space for powerful friends. I have one unflinching, which is to make space for quick charge, which affects both my SMG and my fusion. I'm also using Radiant Light, but I do have to use Fusion Rifle Scavenger. This makes it so that I can still use one shot of my fusion and then pick up a special ammo brick, and that will give me an active chill clip shot. So Fusion Rifle Scavenger is pretty mandatory, so I had to make room for that, and I still have Radiant Light there. Double utility kickstart, high energy fire. My stat split is 10 mobility. Of course, I want to be dodging as much as possible. This isn't fully ideal because I have 40 resilience. It's not that isn't doing nothing, of course. It's just not ideal. I'd rather have 2 resilience if possible, but I didn't have the armor for it. 9 recovery. With the right armor, you can probably get 10 recovery, 10 discipline, 3 intellect. I don't think our super is the most important thing, and it is a faster, naturally faster regenning super already, so we're fine. And then 6 strength, just for more shurikens, more ways to slow people as well. And between our Duskfield and we have shurikens and our fusion when it is procced, we have many ways to apply slow to people and ultimately freeze them. I actually found that with this build I could beat bubbles, because I would just throw down my Duskfield even outside of the bubble, as long as it's expanding into the bubble, which wasn't that hard. They're not able to double melee me, they do have to shoot me, but if they don't do that quick enough and I have chill clip active, 2 shots of my fusion and they're frozen and I can kill them, or a shuriken and a fusion and they're frozen and I can kill them, or even a fusion shot and just them being in my Duskfield, they're frozen and then I can kill them. So this can beat supers quite well. You can also survive the light swipes with the Renewal Grasps of a lot of supers. Can't really survive the heavy ones though, I don't think. And on top of that, in terms of what the Renewal Grasps can survive, just to get an idea of this, if they're in your Duskfield with you, which the Duskfield radius is quite large, I specify this in my coverage video of the Renewal Grasp, but if they're in the Duskfield with you, even a high impact sniper headshot cannot kill you. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyways, that is my Stasis Revenant build. Yep. I think this is pretty absurdly strong, and I'm looking forward to see how this will impact the meta. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.